It has been more than 20 years since NAFTA was finally approved and implemented. And a lot has changed in 20 years. So trade patterns have changed. North America is very integrated as the result of NAFTA. But that integration also brings new opportunities and new challenges and new opportunities to reform NAFTA. So, as I've heard many times, the Trans-Pacific Partnership really is the update for NAFTA. It incorporates all of the newest environmental standards. It updates all of the labor standards. It takes into account technology that didn't even exist when we approved NAFTA over 20 years ago. So we only see this, an approval of TPP, as pure upside for NAFTA and for the continued integration and growth of North America. The U.S. can't leave NAFTA. NAFTA and the integration between Canada and the United States and Mexico is a fact. Our trade with Mexico creates over 6 million jobs in the United States. Frankly, both Mexico and Canada are huge investors in the United States. Those investments create trade. Together, North America is the most competitive region in the world. I don't believe that you can undo integrated supply chains. I don't believe that you can undo the benefits, the creation of jobs, the small and medium-sized companies that have been developed, created, and are prospering as a result of the integration and of NAFTA. So I don't see any chance that the United States in reality can step away from NAFTA, because NAFTA is part of who we are today. For me, the sentiment that the rhetoric that is apparent in the United States is very dangerous. And it's rhetoric that we as North Americans, we as US citizens have to really think about how to create the right, or not to create, how to put out the right set of facts about what the US-Mexican-Canadian relationship is really about. Just as many presidents, previous administrations have occasionally talked from a protectionist point of view, I don't think protectionism in today's world is a reality. And the reason I don't think protectionism can effectively be a reality is that, in fact, we are too integrated a world. Exports are too important to the United States as a part of our culture. And frankly, we also depend on foreign direct investment in the United States, and we also depend on a global community to buy our debt. So while I think it's easy to talk about protectionism, I think actual protectionism, the actual implementation of a very protectionist regime would be very hard to create, to implement, and frankly, I think it would have a very, very negative impact on the growth and prosperity of the country. Now, that doesn't mean that protectionist sentiments are going to go away. Protectionist sentiments come for a whole bunch of reasons. Part of the reasons that protectionist sentiments exist is that people feel that trade, exports, imports are taking jobs away from Americans. And so I think the great challenge for us to change the sentiment of protectionism is better retraining in the United States, the creation of more opportunities in the sectors where the United States is extremely competitive. And so it takes us back to education, it takes us back to secondary education, university education, and clearly it takes us back to worker retraining, which is critical so that everyone in the United States can feel that they're a part of the US economy, benefit from US growth and prosperity. I think the North American Leaders Summit is very, very important. It supports the discussion, the relationship. It dispels fears among the leaders and allows the leaders to openly discuss what's on their mind and how to combat jointly protectionism. Because protectionism is not just something which is happening in the United States. Protectionism is kind of a sentiment. Yes, it's felt in the United States, but it's also felt in many other parts of the world. And it's a real sentiment. And so we have to think collectively about how to combat that, the protectionist sentiment. And one of the best ways to do this is for an open dialogue among the leaders of North America, Mexico, Canada, and the United States.